Emily Ratajkowski, the model-turned-entrepreneur whose lithe silhouette and unyielding gaze have graced countless covers and campaigns, continues to push the envelope of provocative elegance with her latest editorial for Beyond Noise magazine. In a black and white spread that masterfully blends vulnerability with audacious confidence, Ratajkowski strips down, quite literally, to the essence of luxury, donning nothing but a single statement-making accessory. A $2,450 Gucci Horsebit belt cinched provocatively around her waist. This isn't mere nudity, it's a manifesto on the power of suggestion, where less fabric amplifies the wearer's presence, turning the human form into a canvas for high fashion's boldest strokes. The cover image sets the tone with masterful restraint, capturing Ratajkowski perched on a minimalist stool, her body enveloped in an oversized fur coat that teases revelation without full surrender. The coat, a plush cascade of texture against her smooth skin, drapes strategically, one shoulder slipping to hint at the bareness beneath, while her expression, half-lidded eyes and a subtle pout, conveys a knowing allure. It's a pose that evokes classic pin-up artistry, yet infused with modern feminism, where the gaze is hers to command, not the viewer's to conquer. As the fur parts just enough to silhouette her curves, the image whispers of intimacy, inviting the audience into a private reverie while maintaining an impenetrable veil of mystery. Delving into the interior pages, the narrative escalates into realms of unapologetic exposure, where Ratajkowski's body becomes the ultimate accessory, adorned sparingly with pieces that celebrate the interplay of shadow and light. One standout frame freezes her in profile, gloved hands artfully shielding her chest like a modern-day Venus emerging from foam, while black briefs hug her hips in stark contrast to the expanse of skin. At the center, the Gucci belt reigns supreme, a gleaming testament to equestrian heritage, its polished gold horsebit buckle glinting like a talisman against her midriff. Crafted from supple leather that molds to her form, the belt's elongated silhouette accentuates her hourglass figure, transforming a utilitarian fastener into a symbol of restrained opulence. Priced at $2,450, it's the kind of investment piece that whispers wealth without shouting, a staple for wardrobes where discretion meets desire. Gucci's Horsebit motif, born from the brand's 1950s saddle-inspired collections under Rodolfo Gucci, carries layers of history in its unassuming clasp. Originally designed for equestrian tack, it evolved into a fashion icon, adorning belts, bags and loafers that grace runways from Milan to New York. In Ratajkowski's hands, or rather around her waist, it transcends functionality, becoming a harness of empowerment, a nod to the wild spirit tamed only by choice. Paired with the gloves, elongated and enigmatic, the look channels a dominatrix vibe softened by editorial grace, where leather's toughness yields to the softness of exposed flesh. The briefs, simple yet strategic, ground the ensemble, ensuring the focus remains on the belt's architectural lines rather than veering into gratuitousness. The spread's diversity keeps the viewer enthralled, shifting from the belt's solitary spotlight to ensembles that layer provocation with innovation. Strappy bra tops, delicate lattices of fabric that crisscross her torso like avant-garde architecture, frame her décolletage with geometric precision, each strap a deliberate interruption of negative space. These pieces, likely from emerging designers blending bondage aesthetics with couture finesse, allow glimpses of skin that tantalize without overwhelming, a dance of reveal and conceal that mirrors the rhythms of desire itself. Then come the sheer pantless bodysuits, translucent veils that drape her like mist over marble, the fabric's subtle sheen catching light to highlight the undulating contours of her legs and hips. In one arresting pose, Ratajkowski reclines against a stark backdrop, the bodysuit's long sleeves extending her reach like ethereal wings, a gold necklace, perhaps an heirloom or bespoke talisman, dangling as the sole pop of color in this monochromatic reverie. Ratajkowski's choice to share a solitary image from the shoot on her Instagram amplifies its intimacy, a curated whisper amid the roar of her feed. Knees drawn to her chest in a fetal curl of confidence, she sits nude save for the sheer bodysuit, its gossamer threads mapping her form like a second skin. The profile view, shot with cinematic depth, emphasizes the curve of her spine and the cascade of her hair, a tousled mane that speaks of post-coital dishevelment or pre-dawn musings. Here, devoid of the belt structure, her body stands sovereign, the necklace's gleam a focal point that draws the eye downward, inviting contemplation of vulnerability's strength. It's a post that garners millions of likes not for shock value but for its quiet rebellion against the oversaturated imagery of social media, reminding followers that true sensuality blooms in subtlety. At 34, Ratajkowski has long been a vanguard of body positivity wrapped in high-fashion critique, her Inamorata brand a rebellion against the industry's size zero tyranny. This shoot extends that ethos, challenging the male gaze by owning it outright. Her poses exude agency, from the defiant tilt of her chin to the relaxed sprawl of her limbs. Beyond Noise, the magazine's avant-garde bent toward cultural disruption, provides the perfect platform, its pages a forum where art intersects with activism. The black and white palette strips away distractions, forcing engagement with form and texture. The fur's voluminous fluff against her taut skin, the leather's sheen mirroring studio lights, the mesh's subtle weave evoking chainmail for the modern muse. Critics might decry the nudity as commodification, but Ratajkowski's oeuvre, from her blurred lines video controversy to essays decrying objectification, positions this as reclamation. The belt, in particular, symbolizes control. Cinched tight, it asserts boundaries even in bareness, a metaphor for navigating fame's relentless scrutiny. Gucci's involvement elevates the commerce, their Horsebit line a bestseller among A-listers who prize its versatility, from belted trenches in rainy London to standalone statements at sun-soaked Coachellas. At $2,450, it's accessible luxury for the elite, a price point that funds the artisans in Florence whose hands etch each buckle with precision. This editorial arrives amid Ratajkowski's personal renaissance, post-divorce from Sebastian Bear-McClard and amid whispers of new romances, her life a blend of single motherhood to son Sylvester and entrepreneurial fire. The images capture this duality, fierce independence laced with tender exposure, mirroring her book, My Body, a manifesto on autonomy. As she collaborates with photographers who understand her vision, each click immortalizes not just a model but a woman rewriting her narrative, one bare midriff at a time. In a fashion landscape craving authenticity, Ratajkowski's Gucci-clad minimalism is a masterclass in less is more, where a single belt becomes a crown. It challenges us to see beyond the skin, to the stories etched therein, proving that true style is worn from within.